So why is this? Why do we have to protest? It should be public, independent.
Yes.
Oh shit, don't say anything too bad then.
Well, I think you have to look at the way it's organised.
No, I use
It's controlled by a board.
I use an app called Prism.
BBC board.
Okay, what to like?
Yeah, look, because on YouTube Live you can only do it like portrait way, not landscape. Yeah, so NMY uses it and Marty and everyone. So you just connect your YouTube to it.
That's good.
Yeah.
The journalists, the secretaries,
Get professional down the tinny's gone.
the cooks, without all those, without us paying the BBC board elected by the licence payers. Every licence payer gets one vote. Half of the board elected by the licence payers on a regular basis every year, every 2 years. Make it democratic. And what about the workers who produce the programme? As I said, technicians, the journalists, cleaners, the cooks, the secretaries. What don't they have to say? They do all the work, and without their work, there wouldn't be the BBC. So they should also have direct representation on the BBC board. Now, of course, that might be unthinkable to the current government, or to any government. But why shouldn't we? It's a very simple democratic demand. Let's have the BBC board elected by the licence payers and by the people who work at the BBC, and they should have a majority stake on the BBC board. Then, I think we might see some changes in the way it covers such events as this. Now, we also know that the security forces are also deeply involved in controlling what happens on the BBC. So that should be removed as well. It should be a democratic institution. It should be not just public in name, but public in practice. Democratically owned and controlled by the licence payers and by the BBC workers. That would be one step forward to reversing this dreadful coverage we've had of the genocide in Palestine over the last 18 months. Thank you.
Israel is not respecting the ceasefire agreement. The Israeli government is seeking to extend the first phase of the ceasefire deal, which is the trading of hostages, and is refusing to move on to the second phase of the ceasefire deal, which is the real meeting, which would be to move towards a more lasting end to hostilities and some basic amenities for the Palestinian people. A lot of pro-Palestine charities are reporting at the moment that the main requests they're getting from people is water, which is such an astonishing and disgusting thing to have to ask for. A very basic thing which we all rely on. And even as this ceasefire is about to fall apart, even as the Israelis are continuing to shell Rafah, to screen a very simple documentary about the basic experiences of Palestinians in Gaza. At the same time, the police and Home Office are telling the pro-Palestine national demonstration organisers that they've had enough, that there needs to be no more protests, no more demonstrations, no more expressions of solidarity with the Palestinian people, and we cannot afford to accept that kind of restriction on free speech. Because if it can happen to the marches that have got 800,000 people, to the marches that have assembled 26 demonstrations since the 7th of October, then it will apply to everything else in this society. And believe you me, there is a lot to protest about. Recently, the Rotary Foundation reported that 1 in 10 people in this country have to skip meals to afford to save money. The rates of poverty in this city alone are devastating. And yet, international aid is being cut and welfare is being cut to meet the very horrific demands to rearm this country to reach 2.5% of GDP, to participate in the militarisation of Europe in a way we haven't seen since the 1940s. And we know how that happened. We know what happened after that. We are entering a very dangerous period, not just for Palestinians but for us as well. And that's what it means. The very basic message of in our thousands, in our millions, we are all Palestinians. Because if it can happen in Palestine, it can happen here. If it can happen in Palestine, it can happen in America. If it can happen in Palestine, it can happen on the continent. We're only seeing very serious advances made by the far right. Essentially the Nazi party, the AfD, Alternative for Deutschland, is the official opposition in Germany. These are the stakes that we're dealing with here. So we need to come out for the 15th of March demonstration. We need to come out for demonstrations like this. Come rain or shine, we need to keep doing this. So solidarity, everyone for turning up, and free Palestine.
Hello, I'm Stuart Richardson. I'm an activist.
Where all the idiots are.
What is on the agenda of the establishment is endlessly repeated on the BBC, ITV and Sky, is we need to spend more money on arms. And there are, I think, even people here who say that we should send arms and even troops to Ukraine to support an imperialist war, a war between two imperialist powers which are killing tens of thousands of people in Ukraine and Russia. We should be opposed to that. Stop arming Israel. I think what I find quite shocking is that we have the prospect of a couple of million people being starved to death. How is this being reported on the mainstream media? Have we got any leading figures of the politicians denouncing this and say mass starvation is an aspect of genocide? No, we have almost complete silence in this situation. And I think we have to link this call for increased military expenditure, as I said, supported by certain people on the left, to the fact that half the libraries in Birmingham are being closed. 6 libraries in Enfield are being closed. The adult social care service is being axed. And most disgusting of all, the City Council is refusing to finance the transport of children between 16 and 18 who have got disabilities, serious disabilities, to school. That means those children will not have access to education. How is that part of a free society? How is that part of opposing austerity? The Labour government came to power with a commitment to oppose austerity. What is being implemented in Birmingham, cutting the wages of the big workers by £8,000, is austerity, very severe austerity. They're now talking about, we should get information in the next week or so, big cuts in disability benefits. So large numbers of people who are ill, who are suffering, largely because of the failures of the National Health Service, and the lack of funding of the National Health Service, are going to have their benefits cut. That is one of the most brutal and terrible things that one could have now. So we need to link up our opposition to the war in Ukraine and in Palestine to defend people's interests in Britain. Thank you very much.
Free, free! Free, free! Free, free! I think it is very important that demonstrations are supported, because if we do not demonstrate on the 15th of March, then the present government and its administration would think that we are no longer interested in Palestine, and they would further suppress our freedom of speech to talk about Palestine. So I think we need to maintain the level of protest we have been doing, and we need to continue on the 15th of March as well. We need that to be a bigger demonstration as possible, so that it is very clear to
We stayed
Gaza
after.
and the
Some drunk guy
parliament
started
that we are serious about what is happening in Palestine. We want an immediate ceasefire, we want a real ceasefire, we want humanitarian aid to get to the people in Gaza immediately. We want the 50,000 mobile homes to be delivered now, not waiting outside the border in Egypt. We want the tents that have been allocated for the Palestinians in Gaza to be delivered to Gaza now, and we want Keir Starmer to do something about it. He's been providing cover to this Israeli regime that is actually committing crime of genocide. So we are asking Keir Starmer to stand up and do what is the right thing to do, which is to stand up against the genocide, to stop arming the genocide. He's saying that he has cancelled 30 out of the 350 licenses that have been granted. So, cancelling those 30 has not done any good in terms of stopping the war, because they were never sanctioned. He hasn't stopped F-35s being supplied. They are the planes that Israel uses in bombing Gaza. They are the planes that were used in killing over 45,000 Palestinians over the last 16 months. So I think we need to do a lot more, because our government is not listening to us.
I'll tell you what, guys, there's more auditors here.
Increase our voice, we need to increase our volume. We need to be in a position where we can tell our members of parliament that they must do everything possible to stop this war, to stop the genocide, and to hold those in power.
Yeah, he's got a 360 camera.
So free, free! Free, free! I think in terms of what we should be doing, there should
Oh, well, I've seen the video.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
Did you see that? The video of, I was at the
what we
Everton
should
ball
be doing
game.
is not burn
DJ Audits was
Yeah,
he took
well,
it.
someone had one of these sticks, much longer one,
Long one.
like that, kept swatting off one of the guys'
Snapped it, didn't he?
head who was in the action. It all kicks off, the guy grabs some pole, shooks his camera, 400 people back, man.
Yeah, it's not the end of it, did he?
The guy was standing next to me like, oh no, I was like, that's why I'm standing over here like this. It's not nice, but it's his own fault, man. He kept doing like this off the guy's head.
Some of the consumer goods that are selling is actually coming from Israel. Like, for example, the white and other goods are actually coming from factories that this company has built and invested in. So we are asking you to boycott it. Every Sunday, except today,
I'm not saying you're the other side, I'm just saying generally. I need to pick your brain about that. I've got a sick YouTube idea, but I think it's 4 years too late. Can I still stay? Is there any there? You see what I'm going? See the smile? Because I want to try. I've tried the Blackpool one. No, it's close to me. They're all local. Yeah, that's what I thought. In about 2021, you could still book a room. Loads. But I think I've missed an area on their own. One great idea would be to like get inside there and have a room and just see how things have changed. You've got to think there, 150 to 300 probably.
thank you very much. Free, free! Free, free! I think one more further thing is that not very far from here, about 7 to 8 miles from here, there's a factory that actually makes engines for the drones. Now these drones are, as we speak, are being used not only in Gaza but in the West Bank as well to target the Palestinians. About 20 years now, and we haven't succeeded.
but there is a regular demonstration outside that factory that takes place every last year. You can catch a train from New Street Station and it will drop you just next to the factory in Shenstone. And it's probably about half an hour's ride from here. So from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., join us if you can to make sure we can close that factory down that is actually supplying the engine for the drones that Israel uses to bomb Gaza, to do reconnaissance on in the West Bank and in Gaza as well. We obviously
technically not actually illegal because it works with maritime law. So if you put them on, so if we someone on a boat, say so there you go. So there's a guy called Lord.
free.
So what, my man's paid someone to get him to there. That's what I'm supposed to be for, isn't it? Well, I mean, instead of just looking for the proper channel, because the maritime law loopholes are in it.
Stop playing that music.
I know.
I had it. I had to.
No, it's a tool and it's too tool on YouTube that takes it out. They always try and do it with the Palestine tune.
I edited the last protest we went because I started playing McFly at the end, didn't they?
Some people try and come up
believe
to you with their phone and like start playing music in front of
Don't
the
work
camera.
though, YouTube's got a new feature, bruh.
Yeah, it's
Writing song out and leave all the other audio.
Well, sometimes,
Like I said, I haven't been on there for 2 years, so it's like,
sometimes it's fair use as well.
Yeah, I have to think about
Yeah,
that.
sometimes it's like
Great interview in the pub, but someone. I always wondered about copyright and lies, because surely it's not your fault if you're just out in public and filming. Like,
Sometimes I've been copyrighted on music, it could be from BBs.
right, so
We protested outside Barclays. We actually demanded that we should solve our account with Barclays. They may take some time to achieve it, but in the end, they do achieve it. So we are protesting so that Starbucks can stop supporting, so that Israelis can stop bombing Gaza and occupying West Bank. So we are
I like this
protesting
because I'll do that.
free.
The button at the back.
boy, that's well good, that is, man.
It comes back.
I'd say I love technology now. There's so
No,
much
this
you fucking
is
got.
the first thing I ever used on YouTube.
Is it?
Yeah.
They're great, man. They're real good. I used to have one. I used to film weddings. Enjoy this, I like.
Yeah,
They are good.
this is the 4, innit, man?
Shit, much better than GoPro. I'd just seen it. Like,
I've got DJI anyway, I've got the drone.
of course, I love the drones. But yeah, these are meant to be real good in low light, whereas I always found the GoPro, man, sometimes you couldn't see it.
I've got DJI microphones as well.
I think the actual the image seems brighter off the DJI.
There's funny enough, there's like a rodeo guy in America in Texas, and he bought this, the Insta360 and the GoPro, and like, he put
not be played. I will not
My
let
colleague
you
gets
mingle my
heated
rhythm to
sometimes, so
your
imagine
beat.
this.
I will
They're
dance.
robust, innit?
This heartbeat is louder than death. Your war drum ain't louder than this breath. I'll read one more poem. This is If I Must Die by Rifat Alawi, who is a Palestinian scholar and writer, and he also found it be on. You must live to tell my story, to sell my things, to buy a piece of cloth and some strings, make it white with a long tail, for that a child somewhere in Gaza, waiting with his dad, be left in a blaze, bid no one farewell, not even to his flesh. Micah you made, flying up above, and thinks for a moment, an angel is there, bringing back love. If I must die, let it bring hope. Maybe we should have a 1 minute silence to think about the people of Gaza.
Yeah, the one with, yeah, that's the new Osmo. They all. The DJI below that is the one that he started with. Maybe £600. That's got like. That's why I don't know why they're more. It's the same with the GoPro. Yeah, this.
I think I've got it.
300 and something.
From the river to the sea.